time and time again. Sunrise, if I could stay asleep, 'cause I don't wanna leave the comfort of this place. 'Cause of a hunger, a longing to escape from the life I live when I'm away. So let's go there, let's make our escape. Come on, let's go there. What trust can we stake? Can you take me higher to a place where blind men see? Look, it's unbelievable. There's been people, my next door neighbors have gone to my front desk and said, did Scott Stapp move in next to us? Because this isn't just for the video. I do this as a daily routine to warm up for the stock market at like 3 in the morning. And they think I'm having sound check from my living room. But no, it's just me, and I'm finally back. Finally back. It's been a year. For those that have been following me this entire time, you know that my Twitter has been banned, unbanned. I have to get off the political stuff. I'm sticking straight to stocks, and I'm going to be straight to the point. Yes, I'll have a few words of wisdom in the beginning as an opener, but I'm not going to be going on hour-long rants about the Fed and about the state of the government and who runs it and who doesn't and yada, yada, yada. It's just going to be straight to the point. So I'm going to start off with a health tip, because I don't have all day either to edit these things. It was taking me 6 hours to edit the videos. For each thumbnail for my video would take me like 2 hours. Not doing that anymore. I don't have the time. That's why I stopped doing it, because it was too much work for nothing. I got nothing out of it. I got monetized on YouTube, 70 cents. 70 cents, like for 1,000 views. Sick, dude. I'm not Somalian. I don't need 70 cents for anything. I don't live in East Jabip in the Siberian deserts. I don't need 70 cents for anything. If I had 70 cents in my pocket, I'd throw it away. I'd be like, I don't want that anywhere near me. Because I just can't. I don't want it jingling in my pockets. I don't want it in my car. I don't want it anywhere. I don't want to be doing one of these things to get a dime out of the next to the seat. Okay? So my first thing is, you're going to get a health tip every day. If you're fat and you're watching this and you watch my show, be ashamed of yourself. And look, it doesn't matter if you're working on it. Just don't be fat and on purpose. Don't just eat as much as you possibly can because you have no drive and you have no goals in life. You want to be in shape. And I don't want to hear excuses. Oh, it's my thyroid. Oh, well, the food is just filled with red dyes. Hey. Don't eat so much. I just ate for lunch today. I had tuna out of a can. It's that simple. You're not going to enjoy every meal you have. Yeah, you're going to have to drink water instead of soda. Yeah, you're going to have to cut back on the beer. Yeah, you might have to cook some of your phone. Yeah, you can't shove cheeseburgers down your throat every day. But hey, as long as you're watching these videos, you're going to get health tips. So my health tip of the day is to I'm going to go further than this. It's going to get more in depth, but just stop being fat. Stop shoveling food in your throat. It's that simple. There's no, you don't have to be on the carnivore diet. You don't have to be on the, like a keto or I'm just going to be this or I'm just going to be that. No, just eat. You know what to eat. You're not dumb. Nobody watching this is 2 years old. Nobody watching this is 3 years old. You know what to do. You know, there's no excuses at this point in the world. So that's my health tip of the day, is just don't be fat. Please stop being fat. Work on it. That's what I'm saying. If you are fat right now, I'm not literally shaming you. I'm just saying, please, for the love of God, get healthy. Because if you're healthy, it makes you a better trader. If you feel in shape, everything gets better. Okay, so that's my health tip. My stock tip, and this actually comes from something I saw on Twitter a couple days ago. TT Stocks, which is one of my friends, Titan Trader, he had reposted it, and I followed the guy because he was saying, being a successful trader isn't over trading. I don't remember the exact wordage, but it's not over trading. It's not being fully invested every day. It's not buying everything you hear about. And that's really important, because as a trader, you can and this is when you overtrade, your account's going to go up and down and up and down, and it's going to be very hard to catch traction on an upward trajectory, period, because I've done it before. I always needed to be, I have 50 grand in everything. Oversizing, overtrading, it will lead to not just losses. I mean, if you're inexperienced, you'll probably lose everything really quick. But if you, even as an experienced trader, you're just not going to gain any traction. So make sure that when you're trading, you're selective. If you don't have to make 1,000 trades a day, some days you might not even make a trade. Some days it might be 1 a.m. and you pull in $2,500. You're done. You just made $2,500. Whatever your goal is for that day, if you hit it, go out and enjoy your life. Go to the gym. Stop looking at your phone. Stop staring at a screen. You can go crazy with that. And sometimes you'll make 10 grand. I've done this many times. You'll make 10 grand in the first hour of the market, and then by one, you're down 10 grand. And you're like, I'm gonna murder everyone around me. It's the worst feeling of all time to be up 10K and then down 20. And you're like, sick, dude. I didn't have to stare at the screen all day. I could have went out and enjoyed the day. I could have been listening to the birds. I could have been whale watching. I could have been fishing. I could have been singing the tunes of nature on a hike. Okay? So don't overtrade. Don't overeat. Now let's jump into the charts. Okay, I think I kept that pretty short. And I didn't mention those I must not talk about, which was one of the big things about my last videos, and I'm done with that. I can't do that stuff anymore. So we're jumping right into the charts. We got NCNA. Now look, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I'll leave my Twitter underneath so you can follow me, because that's where I give out most of my trades, or I'd say what I'm buying, how much I'm buying, where I think I'm going to sell, whatever. And if I do say, I'm going to sell NCNA at 10, if in the morning it's looking like shit, I might screw around and sell it at 6 because I'm already up. I'm not going to let my trade go red and then be bagged and then be like, shit, I'm sitting on 27 grand of dead money. You don't want to ever do that. If you're green, don't ever let it go red. Right now, I'm green in NCNA. I will at 1 a.m., which is the time I have to wake up here, which is absolute garbage. Now, wait a second. Thank God I noticed that. Oh, God, here we go. Shit. I haven't done this in a while. Bear with me. Okay, we're figuring it out. Technical genius. Studied under John Kaklitis for computers back in '92 in Germany. I'm kidding. I literally don't even know how to turn my TV on most of the days. But here we are. Hopefully you can see this. If you can't, then you know what? I don't know what to tell you. I'm just going to make myself super small. Sorry, ladies. I know you want to see the guns consistently, but you're just going to have to continue to rewind the opener and satisfy yourself that way. Sorry. So, yeah, you should be able to see this. So we have NCNA up here. There's a lot of pumpers on this, which when I initially bought it, I had seen one of them, but I didn't notice the whole crew was on it. This is what you got. Real straight to the point. Don't worry about what anybody else is doing. They probably already sold. They're probably already gone. That doesn't mean that the stock's not going to continue to go up. Now, if it does, they're going to say, oh, yo, see, I called that. Sarwan John, I hate to mention names, but he's going to be like, I gave you one 300%. You know how we do. Even though realistically, he sold 6. But if it's at 9, he's going to be like, I made the best call ever. That's what they all do. They're all bullshitters. I say I sold, and please tell me this is recording. Sorry, I really got to make sure. Yes. I tell you when I sold, and sometimes it sucks. Like I sold GIBO at 6 and it went all the way to 8. So, I could have made an extra 12 grand, but we don't dwell on that stuff. With this stock, I don't know if it's going to go up or down. Nobody does. But you have to just view your levels. So you have, I like to use Bollinger Bands. I also like the fact that these bands are tightening. When you have the bands tightening like this, that's usually before a run. I like this spike because it's kind of creating a W formation. Your RSI is turning up slightly. Your MACD is kind of going up slightly, but you're not really getting any significant indication from those. All I know is what you want it to hold is 550. That's the middle band. That's where that might be your bottom. If it's going to be successful over the next week, 550 is going to be your bottom. So remember, if you have at 425K shares like me, and it doesn't run straight up in the morning, you might want to get out, take your gain, and then set an alert at 5:55. So when that alert goes off, boom, or just put in some bids. Because when you get, if you know, okay, 550 is going to be the bottom. If that fails, like if it closes at 520, you might just have to take the L. If what I'll be looking for in the morning is a break of this, it doesn't, I'll be looking at volume. If there's a lot of volume and it's pushing past 650, 660, past 7, then we're looking at 8, 9, 10 cents. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Don't, you know, just because I'm posting about it, just because they're posting about it, does not mean that that's going to happen. So this is why it's important for you to study your own trades and not just go off of what other people are saying and not just be a dreamer, be somebody that does their own work. So NCNA, you're looking at a break of 7, a break of 660 in that range with volume in the morning at 1 a.m. when nobody's really shorting at that time, then you might get a run to 10. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, it doesn't do shit in the morning. There's not enough volume. Nobody's interested. And you buy at 550 throughout the day. Next, we'll do GIBO. I'm fired up, by the way. It's good to be back. My I got my blood work the other day, and I'm also running it with 1,300 free tests, which if you don't know what that means, it's borderline illegal. But GIBO, why does it look like this? Is this a daily? I gotta zoom in. Come on. We gonna show anything here? Why does it look? It's because it's been so beaten down. Sometimes with TradingView, when I try and do this, I mean, it's gonna be hard to kind of make this look good. Is this the weekly? No, it's the daily. All right. Either way, I mean, you're at this middle band right now. Like I said, beautiful. I had this stock at 3.5, and I had a shit ton of shares. I had 850,000 shares. So had I just held it, sure, again, I'd be up a shit ton of money. But that's not what smart traders do. I've done 2 trades on this and made 18 grand. Had I just held it, I would be up, 35,000 or whatever. But that's not going to happen every time. Let me just get this straight. That you're not going to always hold and for gold and have diamond hands and it's going to go up. Sometimes it's going to go to 6, like where I sold, and it's going to go right back down to, 2 or something. And you're going to be like, oh my God, I could have taken 18 grand, but instead I'm down. Like that's going to happen more often than not. But you're going to tend to look back at these and be like, I could have held and made an extra. Shut the frick up. You made $18,000. I don't care. You know how many times it's happened to me where I could have made $500,000 a day later and I just had to bite the bullet and move on. Because guess what? That stock doesn't even exist anymore. It's probably delisted. It's probably on the gray market. It's probably OTC. Okay, so eventually they all go to zero. So you take what you can get and you be happy with a gain. You don't ever try and buy the bottom and sell the top. It doesn't work that way. As a pro, if you want to be a gambler, then I wouldn't even say do this because you're going to lose all your money. So that's a word of advice. But GIBO, I mean, look, if you're going to go over this solid at 663 is that middle band. If you get over that solid with volume, you could be looking at 1580. I mean, you could be looking at 15 cents. I wouldn't wait till 1580, but 15. But again, if you're in at 6, maybe you go for 12. Maybe it doesn't hit that top band. Maybe it gets close. Go for the double. Don't always try and hit the exact peak. So my plan is I already sold. I'm not going to chase 8 because it could only hit 8 and then come right back down to 5. So my plan with this stock is set an alert at 5.1, set an alert at 5.2, and if it comes back down to 5, which was previous resistance, then I'll buy because now I'm at support. The resistance has flipped to support. Now if I'm buying at support, I know that that's going to be a very good chance of getting that 5 and then selling 10. Instead of chasing 8, it coming back down to 5, I freak out because I'm down 10 grand, sell it, and then it goes to 10. This is why you have to do this premeditated work. You have to sit in a computer. You have to actually know what you're doing because if you don't, you're just going to be like, oh, GIBO, everybody says it's going to $1. Everybody says it's going to $30. And then it doesn't. And you chase 8 and you lose your ass. And then you're asking people online, like, what do I do? Oh my God, I'm bagged as hell, like blah, blah, blah. Then you sell the red candle, you lose, and then you lose all your money, and you have to, you have to evacuate your house, you have to divorce your wife, your kids disown you, you move into a mental hospital, you end up smoking crack, and then those are the guys that I see on the streets of LA. That's you. Okay, so you don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be that guy. Take your time, figure it out, do the work. Next. Let's just do WLGS because this was another one that I had. Hopefully this isn't getting long. I need to shut the hell up. Okay, WGLS. I mean, look, you're flagging here. This could very easily get bullish. I'm surprised that it's even holding this area. Again, another one that I bought at 4, and here's another word of wisdom. The best way to get the bottom, and instead of chasing somebody else's pump where they're selling, is to watch the stock for weeks. I had been watching GIBO and WLGS for at least 2 weeks each. As soon as they started to get bullish, that's when I bought them. And by the time that I was up 100%, that's when your Sarwans, that's when your Pauls, that's when your Zolmies were coming in and being like, it's going to 50, and they were selling the same time I was. If that makes sense. So you have to, again, follow a couple stocks, learn how they trade, hope they get bullish, and then you buy. And when by bullish, I mean like, okay, you're seeing this shit get loaded, the volume's coming in, it's pushing past resistance with volume. This one, I wouldn't touch again. It's just overextended. I don't like, I already made the trade on this. Now that's me. That doesn't mean that you can't. I'm just saying I'm over this. It's gappy. It doesn't really show me anything. I mean, again, it's a flag here. I don't know. Yeah, I can't draw a line. But, this is the daily. It could get bullish. It could, turn up, but it could also fall down out of this. And given the fact that it's, it's got a lot of hype on it. If you're in this stock or you're looking to buy this stock, I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying I've already traded this stock and made my money. I'm not going to frick with it up here. So I'm looking for something more at the low because for this to go up 100%, you really got to have some bullshit. For, something that's at bottom to go up 100%, you really just need it to catch on. Like TNFA. Let me show you. This is like what I would look at for something that is going to get bullish that isn't currently bullish. So I got in at a good spot here. Basically, it was giving me like, I could tell that I don't even know. That doesn't look right, that daily bottom, because it's definitely on like a slight higher low. And if you're looking for a buy-in, and this had, it was 1050 or no 1075, then this one was 1087, and then this one was 1103. It's having higher lows. You want to just try and get at that bottom, right at that bottom. I actually got a little high. I got 1140 because I didn't think it was going to go all the way to that peak trend line, but whatever. 1140, close at 1168. It's being loaded to hell. I mean, there was all day, again, keep watching. All day, it's getting spiked with volume. Like somebody's buying through the ass, like a bunch of shares all the way up to 12. It's like they don't even care. They know it's going up. I'm just going to pop it open. They did that in WLGS for at least a week. Somebody was buying 1 million shares, and then it would sell back down. 1 million shares, sell back down. That's exactly what's happening in TNFA. It's a thin stock. It's starting to get out of this trend. Like notice how it could barely get above this middle band. Now look, it's trying to peak above it. Now it's starting to hold above it. Notice how it closed above that line. It closed above that line. It closed above that line. If you want to get in this stock, look for 1146, 1122, somewhere in the bottom 11s. And then again, you have this pop. Let me see if I can zoom out. You have this pop. Now let's hope it has another pop, and it creates a W formation, which is what I look for a lot. Then, I mean, you're looking at, it could be, I would never wait for this, but it could be 40 cents, could be 30 cents. I would say more like 30, but if it goes to 20, see ya. I double my money. I have 170,000 shares. That's 1,700 a clip. That makes me, 9 times 17 is like, it's probably like 14,000, something in that range. See ya. Then somebody's going to be like, well, if it's going to 30, why not just, I don't know if it's going to 30. I could make an extra 15, but don't be greedy. The main things to avoid: greed, pride, hope, fear. Greed is probably the biggest one, though, because that's what kills people the most. When you're up 20 grand and you think it's going to go higher, and you go to the stock Twitch page and you go to Twitter and everybody's like jerking it to it and being like, this is going to $50. One, they're selling. 2, they're lying. And 3, if you're holding, you're a greedy bastard. So TNFA, I'm looking for a nice spike in that bad boy, okay? Now let's go to the... my followers on Twitter are blowing up. Like, I looked at my phone 10 minutes ago, and there's already 20 more, which I really appreciate that because I am very transparent. I do, I'm not on some bullshit. I'm not lying. I'm not making things up. I'm not trying to scam you, So let's see what we got on the status. ABP. Okay, this is one that I had at like 20 and I sold it. Where is it? 31. Yeah, I mean, that's 50%. I would have already sold it. Just because you're getting to a resistance here. It got rejected at 35. It got rejected at 35. It got up to 33. Now, if it gets above that, if you're holding the stock, you want to see it above 40. Above 40, then you're looking at, you're kind of like in the clear to go anywhere. I wouldn't even know. I would just say that just scale out on the way up. But if you get above 40, you're looking pretty. Right now, you're kind of at resistance. So a lot of times, these things will go to the resistance line and then pull right back down to 20, which is support. So it's channeling right now. So don't buy here unless you got, if it's like volume through 40. Again, you might get faked out. It might be a false breakout and boom, right back to 20, 50% down. So with this type of thing, I would just wait for 20 and hope for that 50% again. Like it's done multiple times as a swing because sometimes it takes a little while. But again, these are all things you have to take into account. If you're buying 40 on a resistance break, it might be a false breakout, lose 50%. That's your downside. That's a huge downside risk. So don't buy heavy. If you buy at support at 20, I mean, it hasn't really gone that low below 20 for 2 months? So you know that your downside there is like risk of what's it called? Bankruptcy or delisting. God, there's risks involved with any of these stocks. But if you're buying at a long-term support, your risk reward is way greater than if you're buying at resistance. Period. Because you're going to need it. That's why I'd rather just trade the channel on this stock. But that's just me. Again, I'm not bashing anything. I'm not saying that this isn't going to rip to 80. It could. Look at what Ints did. Okay. Another one that I had 30 and I sold at like 33 and I regretted it. But guess what? I made money and I moved on. I forgot that stock even existed. And I know that it went to $1 and I know I could have made a lot of money. But guess what? I made a lot of money consistently. This game is about longevity. It's not about how much you can make in one shot. It's not a millionaire overnight shit. It's learn the game and play it the way it's supposed to be played. If you're at a blackjack table, you're not going to try and make $1 million there. You're going to move from table to table. And if you're winning, you better thank your lucky stars that you're just winning. But you always get up and move. You always know how to walk from the table. You don't just sit there while you're up 100 grand and then go right back to zero. I promise you, I've been doing this for long enough, and now I have made consistent gains. I'm profitable. I'm basically a full-time trader. I'm moving to Puerto Rico to save on taxes, like that type of thing. So I know what I'm talking about. This isn't something that I just fell into. What else do we have here? We got TWOH, and then I think that's all I can do right now. TWOH, but it would still, I covered some very famous stocks at the moment. Okay, so wow. Okay, so this is a OTC. I mean, it's got to be. I used to trade OTC all the time, but I stopped trading OTC all the time because it's all dilution machines. Shit, I should have mentioned that on NCNA. Well, I'll just give you an example. So OTC has a lot of dilution. Like basically these are bullshit startup companies. They're not real. 99% of them are real. I don't care how good they look. I don't care what the filings say. I don't care what they're saying from the company. They're all, I mean, like 99% of them pump and go right back to zero. So they're a big risk. You want to get in like preloaded and then you want to get out on the pump. But you could be a millionaire from some of these. They go from 0 to like 2 cents, 3 cents. You have 10 million shares. I mean, you can make, 400 grand, 500 grand in any stock you can. It's just very risky in the OTC. That's what I was going to say about NCNA, just as an example. They have 2 series of warrants, which is dilution. And I could tell by the trading, I was like, this isn't just retail. Somebody has their thumb on this stock and it's free money. So TWOH, I don't know if they're currently diluting. I would assume so. But what happens in the OTC is they pump these stocks up with news, and then the note holders, the people that basically control the stock, the CEO doesn't, the company doesn't. They have these shark lenders, these toxic lenders that have embedded notes in the financials. If you look through them, you'll probably find them, and they're exercisable at extreme rates. Like TWOH, I don't know. I haven't looked into it. I'm just looking at the chart. But like it's trading at 0.004. They might have exercisable convertible note at 0.0003 for infinite shares. So you have a bunch of people buying and somebody behind the scenes is just like on a boat, 100%, almost every single one of them. Sometimes the pumps are amazing. Sometimes the pumps are that good. It depends on the story. So TWOH, I'm just going on charts. I don't do any DD because there's too much noise. When you do DD, it's too much noise. You start to you get married to the stock. You think something, because it's never what it seems. So are they going to RS soon? Do they have a delisting notice? Are they currently diluting? Do they have news on the horizon? There's only a few things that you need to know as far as DD goes. This chart, I mean, this is blasted. It's pulled back. It's blasted. It's pulled back. To get a third one, it's very possible, but it might take a little bit of time. What I would see on the chart is this little pop. Again, W's are what I really look for because they tend to work on most time frames. But you're gonna need this to. You cannot fall out. If you fall down, if you're like down at 2, you're falling out of the trend. Like here's your trend line here. You're right on it. So you got to hold this. If you don't hold this and you start to break below 3.6, 2 with heavy volume, you're going to probably be going back to like 12, which again, with these really small stocks, 4 to 12 is like 75%. So that's your next support underneath this trend line. Again, risk reward is not that great. It just seemed this was the buy. This was the buy. Okay, whoa, something's getting pumped. Let's hope that it gets this because that was at trip 6 and it went all the way up. It 10x in a matter of like 3 days. So that's how you play OTCs. When you're in an OTC and it's already ran and you're like, are you going to get that third spike? Maybe, but you also might lose 75% very quickly. So that's the show. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Hopefully it worked. Hopefully you could see everything. Just know that Creed's the greatest band to ever exist. And if you don't like them, then unfollow me. It's really that simple.